Well, hello there. I'm back in my home. I'm back to some sort of sense of a normal life. Here it is. My house has been under renovation for about 6 months, hence the lack of videos here in my home office. Still a lot of work to be done here, but anyway, I'm back in business. I'm gonna set you guys down here, get my desk set up. I will give you a full tour soon, but this is gonna be the new area. If you're new here to my channel, sorry about that little tour, but my channel is dedicated to all things photography from the perspective of a full-time working photographer. And today I'm going to talk about priorities in photography. Since I do my one-on-one classes, I've seen a lot of people prioritize the wrong things in their photography. So today I'm going to address some of those things. We're going to get into it. I'm going to help you, like always in this channel, I'm going to try to help you become a better photographer, no matter what genre you're interested in, and no matter what level of photography you're at right now in your life. Goal is to get better, and I'm gonna help you do that. So let's get into it and let's talk photography. Hey guys, just a quick update on things. I apologize for not posting regularly. My house has been under renovation for the last 6 months, so I've been living in a tiny apartment with my wife and my 3 dogs. Well, now my 2 dogs. Kind of sad, my elder dog, Pon, has recently passed away. That happened last week. For those who follow my Instagram, you know about that, but I haven't been posting here at all, so I'll give you guys a little update on things. So I'm back in my studio. Rest in peace, Pon. She was lovely. For those of you out there that have lost a dog or have a dog, give your dog a hug. Send me a picture of you and your dog. It makes me happy, cheers me up. And no matter how old your dog is, it's still hard. Didn't see it coming even though she was elderly. And just for anyone going through something similar, I posted something on my Instagram very recently. If you're watching this later on, you can go back through, but it's called Just a Dog, or Google Just a Dog. It's a nice little short story of sorts that, I don't know, just shows the importance of dogs in our lives, and it just gave me a little bit of peace. Anyway, moving forward, got me thinking about priorities in life, like death always does, and what's important to all of us. And it made me think about, hey, what's important in photography? What are people's priorities in photography? And for those of you that don't know, I teach my online classes. I have my mentorship program. You can check that out at justinmott.com. I have one-on-one mentoring. I only take on 5 per month, but it's a very intensive one-on-one program. Weekly meetings, weekly assignments, and really, the core of it is helping you tell a story, helping you get better at your photography through storytelling. So I give you a story, help you develop that story, work on that story, and every single week we look at pictures, we talk about photography, and you get better. So the first thing I want you guys to prioritize is editing over retouching. Now, first of all, let me just define what those two things are to me. Some people call editing what you would do in Photoshop or Lightroom, playing around with contrast and your color and exposure and things like that. I'm going to classify editing as narrowing down your images, and when you come back from your shoot, picking out which ones are best, which images lead your different galleries, which images are your hero shots for your portfolio, and which images you decide to post on your website or Instagram, which images do you not show anyone ever because they're so horrible and you're disappointing yourself that you took them. And then retouching, again, everything you do in Photoshop, Lightroom, all that. So why to prioritize that? Of course, if you're into commercial photography, retouching is extremely important. Understanding layers, understanding how to remove things, amazing things you can do with AI. Of course, I understand that, and that's important to know. It's also important to know just for all photographers. However, if you're more interested in documentary photography, street photography, or just travel photography in general, prioritize working on becoming a better editor of your own work. Understand which images are your best, which composition is your best, which image tells the best story, which image has the best light. Understanding the difference between 2 images that are very similar, but why one image might be a little bit better. It's because maybe you have cleaner lines, maybe the light was a little bit better. I know so many photographers, I've helped so many photographers that bury their best images or don't even show me their best images until I have to dig them out of their archive. Oftentimes we are horrible editors of our own work because there's some sort of emotional attachment to it. You were there, you spent a lot of time in that shot. When it finally happened, you thought it was a good shot, but then afterwards maybe it wasn't a really good shot. Prioritize that. That will make you a much better photographer than focusing on retouching. Doesn't mean you shouldn't understand retouching, color, and all that kind of stuff. Of course, important, but prioritize editing first. Trust me, that'll help you become a better photographer. The next mistake I see people make is prioritizing gear over the fundamentals. Stop doing that, you guys. I know it's so exciting to buy new gear. Oh, it's awesome. I want to buy this new Leica. I want to buy this new camera. This came out. None of that matters if you don't understand the fundamentals of photography, if you don't know how to compose a good image, if you don't understand how to set a mood with light, if you don't understand how to capture the light that you want to capture to tell that story, to capture that mood that you're trying to capture. All of it doesn't matter what camera you have. You have the best Leica, the best Hasselblad, Sony, whatever. Doesn't matter. Prioritize the fundamentals. Get a basic camera, learn how to shoot in manual mode, understand the essentials of photography, understand the essentials of storytelling, understand what makes a good picture to you, and understand how to capture that picture. The next thing to prioritize is prioritize close over far. What do I mean by that? A lot of people I talk to, they're always talking about, oh, next year I'm gonna go on this trip to Iceland, I'm going to Italy. You're coming to Vietnam? Yeah, come to Vietnam, do one of my workshops, that's great. But don't wait. Don't make that your only thing. You don't do a triathlon and just go to the triathlon. You train, you practice, you get better. And where do you do that? Do you go train in all these other places? No, I'm training for triathlons, and that's why I'm talking about that. In your backyard, in your neighborhood, there's pictures to be had, there's stories to be had, there's ways to get better. If you're interested in the more technical side of photography, it's all right there. It's all outside. Go outside. Go shoot locally. Don't put it off. Don't say, I'm going to wait till I go on this mega trip. Get good now, so when you go on that once-in-a-lifetime trip or you go on that once-in-a-year trip, you have a solid foundation, so you don't go out there and just take the same pictures you're always taking. You go out there and you take better pictures and you improve and you come back with something new, something fresh. Not just because the place is new, but because you're better as well. Why? Because you practiced those fundamentals and you did so locally in your neighborhood. I know some of you say, well, my neighbor's not that inspiring. There's always pictures to be had anywhere. The next thing to prioritize is patience over setting things up. I see people, it's very common here, especially in Vietnam, to just sort of set up street photography shots. Set up shots in general. I know, commercial photography, I understand, but I'm talking about specifically street photography, going out there, like it might be tempting, like have a friend walk by there or move this, move that. Don't. Just life is so beautiful on its own. You just have to wait. And when you're setting things up, I've talked about this a million times, you are setting things up that you've seen before. So you're just recreating someone else's image. You're not getting anything new. When you're patient and you wait, something will happen. It takes a while, for sure. It takes a long time. But also that process of waiting, you're learning skills. You're learning how to anticipate. You're learning how to work in different environments, different lighting situations, or when a subject isn't as good as you want. You're learning new things. So the reps of going through that patience are important. And then also, trust me, the payoff is much better when you just let life happen on its own. It's beautiful, it's spontaneous, and that's how you get something fresh, is when you just wait and let life give it to you, and you're there to capture it. The next thing to prioritize is long-term over short-term, and this is really for anyone that wants to get into the business side of photography, but it's also really for anyone that just wants to get better at photography. Stop cutting corners. Stop cutting corners in setting things up. Stop cutting corners in your learning. Stop cutting corners in your ethics and your morals. There's a lot to unpack there, but just in general, play the long game. That's what photography is about. All the things you're going to learn along the way, practicing, learning, networking, business side of photography, getting to know people, learning how to do an assignment. Just stop cutting corners. Everyone wants to cut corners, get things fast, want to be rich fast, want to get the best assignments fast. It doesn't work that way. Not for most of us. For most of us out there, you've got to put the time in, put the effort in. And once you know that, it's easier to just like calm down, slow down. Expectations are, hey, in the long run, I'll get better at this. The next thing to prioritize is stories over singles. If you want to get better overall as a visual storyteller, yes, it's nice to take nice single images, but focus your time on a personal project, a story of sorts, so that you can build different types of shots, that you understand how to tell a story through multiple pictures. Also gives you more opportunity to work on the same thing. And when you're working on the same thing, it's a lot easier to get better because you're comparing apples to apples. Say I'm doing a story about my neighborhood. I can go out every single day, come back, sort of the same scenery every day, same people, same architecture, same sort of light, and I can look at my images from that day and I can learn from that. And I can go out the next day and shoot it again. So everything's more controlled. So that's a great way to start early on in photography, or anytime you just need a spark in your photography. Work on a story. Work on putting together a project. It doesn't have to be so linear. It could be a project with a theme, concept, whatever it is. But working on that project allows you to go back out, make mistakes, and then go back again, fix those mistakes, and take better pictures. Helps you develop as a photographer, helps you develop better as an overall visual storyteller. And the last thing I'll talk about is prioritize being original over copying. Copying, again, is short-term. Yes, you can say, oh, that looks great because you copied some other photographer, but originality stands the test of time. So learn from other photographers. Sure, understand, deconstruct their images. Strive to become your own photographer. Strive to have your own vision. Strive to find your own style as a photographer. And that's something that will always be evolving. Well, hopefully it will be if you want to improve. Focus on that. Focus on you and becoming the best version of you as a photographer, whether that's an amateur, whether that's a pro, whatever amount of time you can put in, that's up to you. But just focus on becoming original. Focus on finding who you are as a photographer. All right, that's all for today, guys. I hope you learned something today. Go out there and shoot. As always, guys, I promise you guys I'll give you an update on some things coming soon. This week, on Monday, I'm heading to Germany to tour the Leica factory. It's sort of their annual event. They've invited me. I'm going to do a bunch of BTS content. Follow me on Instagram at AskMod. I'll also have members-only exclusive content. So if you want to become a member, it's $4.99 a month. Help support the channel. Give you guys exclusive content. You get benefits, all sorts of cool things. Check that out. If you want, click the join button and you can join my channel $4.99 a month. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to have a wonderful day.